Alright guys, today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 amusement parks in New York. This is my home state. I've been to pretty much every major amusement park in this state, with the exception of Great Escape, which doesn't look very good anyways. So yeah, let's get into this list. At the number 5 spot is Martin's Fantasy Island, now known as Niagara Amusement Park. This park really doesn't have anything too special. They've got Silver Comet as their standout coaster. It's not very good. I mean, it's in my top 100, but I mean, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It's nothing too special. They had a Wild Mouse. They're now getting a Zyklon or a Galaxy coaster, whatever that model is. That's going in the Wild Mouse's place. And just overall, the atmosphere here wasn't very good, especially in the adult section. Kind of just felt like you were walking on gravel or something in a parking lot. The kiddie section was all right, but that being said, how much time are you spending in the kiddie section? The flat rides were, they weren't really anything special. Mind Warp was cool, but other than that, nothing too special here, so it gets to the number 5 spot. Now at the number 4 spot is Darien Lake. There are a lot of issues with this place, but let's start off with the good, all right? Ride of Steel and Predator are a good 1-2 punch. They both make my top 50. They don't make it very far into it, but they make my top 50. They've got an SLC, one of the most underrated coaster models. They've got a Boomerang, which, yeah, Boomerangs suck. Predator, Arrow Looper, one of the better ones, but that being said, one of the better Arrow Loopers still means you suck. So Viper's still not a very good ride. Tantrum's a clone of Iron Shark. Gerstlauer Eurofighter, so, I mean, it's fun, but it's nothing too special. And then Motocoaster is meh. And then the flat rides, they don't got anything too special in my opinion. And then the atmosphere, the food, just everything, just no. Really bad food. There seems like there's litter everywhere, which definitely isn't good. And the operations here are atrocious. One train on everything except Tantrum, which, by the way, was running one train at some point this year. So yes, those 8-car trains, yeah, there was only one of them on the track at some point this year, which I had to wait through a few times, which really sucked. The ops don't seem like they really care about being efficient. Like, it's just not good. So, overall, best coaster collection in the state. Other than that, it's just terrible here. At the number 3 spot is quite possibly the most average amusement park in the world, Luna Park, also known as Coney Island by many, and you can throw Dino's in here as well, I guess. But yeah, this place, of course, is famous for Coney Island Cyclone, quite possibly the most well-known coaster of all time. I mean, it's a fine Woody. It's nothing too special, but it's fun. Thunderbolt is a great steel coaster. They got a Volare. Yeah, don't ride those, please. They've got another moto coaster here themed to horse racing. I think it's Steeplechase. So yeah, I mean, it's all right. And then they got like a Wild Mouse or whatever. They got a few kiddie coasters as well. But they've also got a few good flat rides. They've got an air race. They've got a booster. The line was extremely long, but they have a booster. So yeah, they have some good flats. They got some other stuff, but I mean, nothing too special besides the booster. The atmosphere here is average, I guess. The food, if you get Nathan's, that's really good. Other than that, meh. I mean, everything about this park is good, not great. That's pretty much how to sum up this park, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's getting the middle spot, and it's also pretty much the definition of a mid-tier park. So, now we've made it to the top 2. I had a tough time deciding between these 2 parks, but at the number 2 spot is Seabreeze, my home park. I love this place. Jackrabbit is a great headliner, definitely best Woody in the state, possibly the best coaster in the state. I don't know, I'd still have to give it to Ride of Steel, but this is a close second. Whirlwind's a fun Mauer spinner. I'm not too big of a fan of this thing, but it's definitely fun. And then they've got bobsleds. This is the most underrated coaster in the world, in my opinion. Yes, I am biased, but I mean, who cares? It's got a ton of fun little airtime pops. The theming's so quirky, but it's great. The ride itself is really quirky. They've got a ton of great lateral moments, both short and sustained, especially on that final helix. That's the best part of the ride. It feels like a mini version of the Beast's helix. And I guess this ride kind of just feels like a mini version of the Beast, which, if you know, that's also, in my opinion, one of the most underrated coasters in the world. So, and then they've got a good flat ride collection too. Flyers is a top 3 flat ride for me, period. Only slightly behind the Flyers at Knoebels. Yeah, this Flyers is great. You can get a ton of great snapping, especially if it's windy. So try to come here on a windy day, because trust me, I've ridden this thing in the pouring rain, wind, everything, and they've kept it open. So yeah, that's great. They got a Sea Dragon. They got 2 sort of teacup rides that I always love. Sea Dragon, I think I already said that. Time Machine, that's another great one. Screaming Eagle, I mean, I personally don't like it because I hate the restraints, but I think a lot of other people like it, just because it's the only ride in the park that goes upside down. But the rides here don't need to go upside down. This is a charming park. Not to mention, they have also got one of the best log flumes, with possibly the scariest drop on any log flume. You have no restraint, and that thing's super steep, so that's a great log flume. The food here is above average for a park. The atmosphere, I mean, it's a classic amusement park. They got the carousel that's super historic, burnt down, and then they had to rebuild a new one. So yeah, overall, this place is amazing. But I had to give the number 1 spot to, on paper, possibly the stupidest amusement park in the world, but it's Sylvan Beach. And hear me out when I say that this little place is the best amusement park in New York. Yes, they only have 1 credit. Yes, it's completely dead there all the time, so you'd think it wouldn't be very good. But the fact that it's so dead there all the time is easily this place's biggest strength. We went there on Labor Day weekend, one of the busiest times for amusement parks, period. And the longest we waited was 1 train for Galaxy Coaster. That is the longest we had to wait for anything that day. And that was Labor Day weekend. This place also has a top 3 flat ride collection that I've experienced anywhere. The Rocco Planes are my favorite flat ride, period. If you learn the technique, oh man, I mean, there might not be a crazier ride out there. I mean, besides like I-305 or something, if you learn the technique, which is basically just rock back and forth until you start flipping forwards, and then just keep your weight forwards, you'll just start flipping out of control. I mean, it's nuts. Another top 10 flat ride for me is Tip Top. This is a teacups ride, but it spins a lot faster than other teacups rides, and it has a platform that it's on, and just at random points throughout the ride, the platform will raise. So just out of nowhere, you'll get these abrupt pops of airtime that are really fun while you're spinning really fast. The Himalaya here is easily the fastest Himalaya I've ever experienced. I mean, people have talked about the Waldemir Music Express being really fast. This Himalaya gives airtime. Waldemir's does not do that. The laterals are crazy, they're sustained, and again, you get little airtime pops every time you go over one of those humps, so that's crazy. They've got a Laughland Dark ride, a really fun and fast slide, bumper boats. They've got a rotor that barely ever works, but when it does, that's a really fun one. They've got Bomber, that's a rolo plane, like satellite at Knoebels. And of course, their one credit Galaxy Coaster is easily the best Galaxy Coaster I've been on. It's untrimmed. It has a second car, so you can get some great airtime in the back. And again, that second half is untrimmed, so you are flying through that second half. I mean, you get great laterals there, and one last pop of airtime, so it turns like a 2 out of 10 ride into a 6 out of 10 ride, I'm telling you. So that combined with the cheap prices, everything that it has to offer with flat rides in the one coaster, and the fact that there's no one there ever. You also have a beach right next door. They have a great arcade with Gravity Hill, so we spend a lot of time over there as well. So yeah, this is just definitely my favorite amusement park in New York for all those factors, and should definitely be on everyone's radar. So those are the top 5 amusement parks in New York, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought of this list down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.